And we're live. What's up, everybody?
Hello.
Hello. So, welcome to the third episode of Direct Edition Squad. I'm calling this one "The Gang Strikes Back" because we're all here, and it's not just going to be me and Fuchsia with a sad violin this week, explaining to you how much of a mess we are. Ooh, what's that honking sound?
That was my alarm.
I know. I was wondering the same thing too. I mean, like, he's pulling up the stream and he's got the volume on. I'm like, oh, there's an echo. Hold on. Still getting it down.
I thought it was someone playing something for the sad violin you were talking about.
Yeah, it felt
So
like my intro had this like background music. I was like, all right.
The timing on that was perfect. It was meant to be.
It was that was amazing. So thanks everybody. We got a couple people in the chat, but welcome. This is our third episode, but really our second episode. Well, it'll be debated for years to come, I'm sure. So hope everybody was having a great Sunday. And thanks for joining us here. Jeffrey, you want to do some shout outs?
Oh, yeah, for sure. We got our buddy John's Comics with Kids in the chat. Wonderful human being right there, John. You're an amazing person. I appreciate all your kindness last weekend at WonderCon. Our boy Comic Head 84, Kenny. Always good to see you, man. Thanks for dropping in today and joining us for this lovely edition of the Direct Edition Squad. How's everyone doing?
Good.
Doing good. I woke up from a nap. Yeah,
he woke up from a nap, and I
took a nap today. Also, it's a must-do on the weekends. You know, do it.
To be fair, I didn't get up till like 10:30 or 11. I don't think I got up till 11, so I haven't been too tired. It's when I get up at like 8 or 9 on the weekend that I'm out by 6.
Right, yeah.
See Dub rolled in the chat.
Yeah, I'm just hanging out, getting ready for some WrestleMania.
Oh yeah, that's tonight, right? Is that tonight?
Yeah, it's actually going on right now. Pretty pumped up for it. I'm waiting to watch it, so I don't have to.
What's the cover price for WrestleMania these days?
I don't know. I have the subscription to the WWE Network where you pay $10 a month every month.
That's not bad.
So it's not bad if you think about it, because I know back in the day pay-per-views were $60 a pop. So it's like,
oh yeah.
And then you can go back and you can watch all the old matches from all the, from the very first ever WrestleMania or whatever pay-per-view you want to watch.
So you get access to all the old stuff plus the live premium matches, like the premium pay-per-views, $10.
Yeah, and they always do a deal with every pay-per-view. Like if you're not a subscribing member and you went and subscribed today, they'd give it to you for free for the first month too. So.
Oh wow.
So you can sign up for free and watch WrestleMania for free right now.
That's pretty sweet.
Right?
Damn, that's crazy, dude.
DVR is even better these days because you wait 10 minutes and then you can just fast forward through the commercials, so you're not like waiting
like TV and stuff. This is like a little bit different, but
but still, you can fast forward through the commercials.
Yeah, you are getting a lot of that price.
What's up, Lindsay? Good to see you.
Hey, Lindsay's geeked out next.
Yeah, Mr. Garrel.
Mr. Garrel.
Oh, Mr. Garrel, whatever. You can put that on pause. You know that.
Yeah, for your best friend and your other best friend.
Oh, so yeah.
So what have we been thinking about this week? I mean, for me, the whole last week I've been spent basically in bed. I mean, almost the second that we hung up on the 10-minute show we had last Sunday until like yesterday, I was just in bed or in my PJs, like trying to recover like almost the whole week. So I ended up streaming a lot of like TV on my iPad or my computer, like as I was, in between napping and stuff like that, and just trying to get back to 100%. I mean, I was chewing these Ricolas basically all day, every day. These things saved my life. Like, I don't know if there's a getting over a cold Hall of Fame, this is in the top 5 all time for me. Gotta have these. But I ended up streaming a lot of stuff on Amazon Prime, and probably the thing that I streamed the most out of anything was I was binge watching Comic Book Men all week. You know, the TV show based out of the Secret Stash, which is Kevin Smith's comic book shop.
Yeah, it's a fun show.
It's a fun show.
I love that show.
And there's 7 seasons of it on Amazon Prime for you to binge watch if you so desire. And I think
That's funny because we actually started watching that recently too on Amazon. Yeah.
I think I binged probably 4 whole seasons or 5 whole seasons of Comic Book Men while I was trying to recover this week. And one of the episodes, somebody brought in a custom Batman bowling ball, and that led to like a bowling team matchup between the Secret Stash squad and the Clerks squad with like Jay Muse and the guy who played Dante and all that stuff from Clerks. So
That's cool.
there was this
That
whole
is awesome.
bowling team match. So I bring that up because we were sort of talking about bowling like right before we went live, randomly out of nowhere. I don't know how that ended up happening, but I'm not the greatest bowler in the world myself. I think my high score, like I think one time ever, I got a 200, but that was maybe it was like a 180 to a 200. But most of the time, I averaged like about 100 on it.
Nice.
And
That came up because apparently Jeffrey and I both played Pee Wee bowling.
Oh right, that's right.
No, I did too. Yeah.
Had you watched that at all before, or did you just find this just recently while you were sick?
Comic Book Man.
Yeah.
I had seen random episodes like late at night because it's a late night show on AMC. So I had seen random episodes on AMC like back in the day when I used to watch The Walking Dead like live on TV when it was on TV that night Sunday, like 5 seasons, 6 seasons ago of The Walking Dead. I would actually like tune in live and watch TV.
Same. I used to stay up for those episodes back in the day.
And they would air Comic Book Man, I think, like an hour later or something like that.
Yeah, it was usually at like midnight or 1 a.m.
Yeah, but
it was,
but I never watched it chronologically, like that many episodes. And like by the time I binged that many episodes, I could almost predict like the dollar amounts like that the guy would offer people for certain comic book issues or toys or whatever, and I'm like guessing the amounts, like, oh, he's gonna offer $120 and they're gonna counter with this, and then he's gonna counter with that. But it's a fun show, especially for people like us that collect stuff. Just to like just to kind of watch like sort of the people working at a comic book shop like spitballing and shooting the shit all day, and then like trying to get merchandise from the shop. I think it's pretty funny.
Did you see the episode where Jason Mewes himself comes into the shop and starts playing with the action figures in the back, and he's just he just like randomly shows up one time, and they're like, okay, what's going on? And he's just playing with the action figures in the back. That one's great.
Yeah, and they're like, well, you're gonna pay for all this, aren't you? Or whatever. And he like puts it on. Didn't they put it on Ming? Like, did they charge Ming for it or something?
I think so. Yeah, because he was going through opening all of the packages and playing with the toys.
Ming Chen gets so much shit from those other guys.
He does.
He really does.
It's really after a while, I just kind of feel bad for him, like a little bit. But he's a good guy. Like he's always on the con circuit. Like I've seen him a bunch of times at different cons.
I was just gonna say that because I think he's came here before.
There was somebody in the community that went to a con. I think it was Sanders that posted a picture.
Tony did get it. Yeah, Tony did get a picture with him.
That was awesome. That was so cool.
Discovery Bay, what's up? JD.
Yeah, dude, my boy, what's up? Issues, Mr. Garrell. Thank you guys for joining us tonight. Discovery Bay.
Yeah, I mean, besides Comic Book Men, I also checked out a couple other shows. There's this new show called Forever on Amazon Prime. It's a comedy with Fred Armisen, the Portlandia guy, I think, and Maya Rudolph, formerly of like SNL and was it Bridesmaids? I think was one of the bigger movies she was in.
Yeah, I think she was.
Yeah, so I thought that was a pretty funny show. I got 7 episodes in out of an 8-episode season. It's got a very interesting premise. It's done by the other executive producer that did the show Master of None with Aziz Ansari. So I thought that was.
I love it, Aziz, man. He's great.
Yeah, it's a great show. So check that out if you haven't heard of it. It's called Forever. It's on Amazon Prime. And then I also saw this kind of like sci-fi action show on Amazon Prime called Hannah, which was based on a movie that came out 6 or 7 years ago. It's kind of like a Born Identity kind of super.
I remember that movie. It had that creepy ass soundtrack to it.
it's kind of like a super soldier program, kind of like Born Identity style sci-fi thing, but instead of like, you know, a middle-aged white dude being the main character, it's like a 15, 16-year-old young girl is the super soldier character that it lives in the woods and stuff like that, and then like has to figure out who she is. So it's a pretty intriguing show. So I actually was able to binge through that show as well while I was sick. And then probably the only other thing I did while I was sick besides binge some TV is I read some comic books. I read Year One twice, probably like the 8th time I've read it. I have a show tomorrow night with JP Budget Collecting where we're gonna go over this book. So I was able to read this multiple times. And I also saw the DC animated movie adaptation on the DC Universe app for the movie, which was incredible. It was a very, very faithful adaptation. So it stayed very much true to the comic book. And it's about a 1-hour movie. And you can, if you have a subscription to the DC Universe app, you can check it out there. But I had never seen it. And Bryan Cranston, you know, from what's the show? Bryan Cranston from Breaking Bad. Yeah, Breaking Bad.
Yo, I'm glad you brought that up because I was going to ask you anyway, man.
Nice.
I found one of these in this thing, eBay. Yeah, first printing. Sweet.
Oh wow,
nice.
That's funny. I just barely bought Year One recently too. Like just got it in the other day.
So Bryan Cranston voiced Detective Gordon in the animated movie, which was pretty. I thought it was pretty awesome.
That is good.
Yeah. So yeah, so that's it. That's what I've been up to. And according to Issues, I've been up to some other dirty things that I won't bring up.
Right.
For mature
I knew he would go there.
He always goes there. It's okay.
He always goes there.
Oh, that's
great. What's going on, Rod, JD? Thank you guys. JP's Budget Collecting, Comic Geek D. Good to see you guys.
Hey, yeah, what's going on, McD, buddy? Oh god, yeah, that was it. It was so awesome having you on the show yesterday. God, that was great.
It was good. It almost turned into Endgame. It was like 2 hours and 45 minutes. We were like 15 minutes shy from it being 3 hours, and we just got.
You know, that's what doesn't faze me when I hear that it's a 3-hour runtime for Endgame. I'm like, hello, we've been part of these YouTube auctions and just live streams that are going like 3.5, 4 hours.
Exactly. Yeah. See, we're prepared.
That's true, but you could take those around with you to whatever room in the house that you're in, like issues. So
yeah, like issues.
I know. It's like I told him we already got our tickets, so we're going to the bathroom before the movie starts, before the preview.
I got my tickets also. And I was only able to get tickets to like an 11 p.m. showing, and it's like a 3-hour movie. So I'm assuming I'll get home at like 3 or 4 in the morning after that.
Okay, so did you have like that wait time or anything like people were having?
Yeah. Well, I had the wait timer thing, but because I live in New York, we have a lot more theater options. So I just kept hopping from one theater to the other until I didn't have to wait really long. I got into like a wait where I only had to wait 2 minutes or something. Like the first theater I tried, the wait time was an hour. The second theater I tried, the wait time was an hour. The third theater I tried, the wait time was an hour. So I think I tried maybe 5 or 6 theaters until my wait time was only a couple minutes. Then I got to the other side. All the show times prior to 11 p.m. were basically like sold out though. So, but this was for Thursday night. You know, I want to see it as early I want to see it as early as humanly possible so that I don't get like spoiled.
Right.
Ours is Saturday at noon.
Saturday at noon, yeah.
So our Saturday show that Saturday will probably be like an hour to 2 hours later than usual.
Yeah.
I mean, I won't have a problem seeing it down here, but it's kind of a smaller, semi-crappy theater. I mean, they only have like 5 or 6 theaters showings in one thing, or I could spend the money and go to Miami and sit in the Dolby Digital or IMAX dopeness, but we'll see how I feel.
Yeah, dude, it's crazy. Like when we were talking to McD, when they tried getting it, his wait time, what did he say, 28 hours or something like that?
Oh, geez. Yeah. Really?
And I was like, wow. Like, it blew me away when he said that. I was like, 28. You said 28, right? Like, I was like, oh my God.
Were they selling tickets for like June or something. Like
I don't know.
Like a
it's
month away.
just crazy.
Speaking about the tickets, have you seen that the prices that people are trying to sell them for on eBay?
Oh yeah, God, I don't even want to know.
Yeah, McD brought that up.
It blows my mind that people are that stupid to like want to pay that money. I mean, it's not rare. There's another showing. You can go see it next week or the following week.
Yeah, my mom, she usually goes to the movies like 2 to 3 weeks after because she hates the crowds. That she's like, I'm gonna avoid YouTube. She loves YouTube and she'll always watch it, but she's just like, no, I'm gonna avoid YouTube, avoid spoilers, and I'll go after it settles down.
Maybe if I belong to the stamp collecting community, I would take the risk. But I belong to the comic book community, so I'm afraid of spoilers. Like in general. I want to see it.
Yeah, and you're on the internet and YouTube and stuff, so I mean, it's bound that you're going to run into it. I get it. I completely get it. But
hey, Barbarian Kung Fu is in the house. What's up, man?
One of them was going for $15,000 or posted for $15,000. I'm like
15. Yeah. McD was talking to us about it. He said, he saw one for $9,000. But yeah, 15. Holy cow!
People are nuts. They're crazy.
Yeah, see,
I mean, and I better be sitting next to Black Widow to see it for that much.
For that, right? Yeah, for that much. Yeah.
It's a sad world.
Like when we got ours, we just went directly to like our theater's website, like we normally do, and like there was no wait time, and even the seats, like they were like those middle seats that you go for, like it was just normal, like it wasn't really that. I mean, there wasn't even that many like seats even bought so far, so.
It's cool about being in this small town. I could go walk up and not even have to get my tickets in advance and just go in there and have a seat. I mean, there might be a line if I wait, but if I go there early, I can just go buy my tickets in advance and go walk in.
Right.
10 minutes in advance.
Right. Well, and I was just going to say this past week I haven't been up to too much, but I missed New Comic Book Day because my other brother, kind of good friend, family member, not by blood, ended up taking me to a Pink concert that I never thought was ever going to happen. I posted a few videos on my Instagram, but it's not good quality, so I have like a ton more on my phone. But it was fun, and I was like, at least he didn't have me pestering him at the comic book store, like, okay, I'm ready to go. Are you ready? But sometimes I get like that when I try not to. I'm usually not too bad with it. I'm usually like, okay, I'm going to go ponder and look and hunt for myself and see what I can find. But it was the first time we went to the comic book store alone.
Well, that was funny, and it's also the less that I've spent there in the longest time.
I was so shocked by the time I got home, and he told me all of these things. They just got 2 new long boxes of Deadpool, and he only bought 2, and my mouth, like my jaw dropped. I'm like, wait, are you serious? I'm so proud of you. Like, I did what? But it was a good show seeing Pink live, and then coming home to have him already buy the comics.
Nice.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't been reading. I haven't been staying as on top of the new books the past week or two as I've wanted to. I mean, I haven't read issue number 5 yet, but I have it sitting there. I haven't read War of the Realms #1 yet, and I have it sitting there. I think I'm mostly caught up on some of the other titles I read, but I'm going to be out of town next week, so I'm going to be behind again. So it's just
we're always so far behind.
Yeah.
That's what I've been trying to get caught up so I can read War of the Realms.
Yeah, I'm so far behind too.
I basically once a month.
Yeah, I pretty much blew all my money at WonderCon, and I got to wait till next payday to even pick my books up from the LCS. So all those books you just mentioned are sitting there waiting for me too. So.
I would have done the same. I would have done. That's what we're going to be doing when we go to our con.
Yeah, because we have like our spring con, and then the very next weekend is like a smaller like free one. Mm-hmm. But it's still like kind of 2 cons. So yeah, we'll probably skip the comic book store. One of the weeks, maybe.
Issues is saying, just quit, guys. Just quit in comics. Just give it up. I mean, I think he's
never quit.
I think he's joking, but sometimes I have that like internal monologue.
I've had that thought like every day for the last week.
This whole Rob Liefeld crap has made me want to throw my comics away.
Major X crap. I did not pick up that book or the Spider-Man Deadpool book. I don't give a shit at all.
Yeah, me neither.
So,
right.
Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy being the biggest. Like we got into it. Like, like with McD yesterday. Not got into it. That sounds bad. Like we like argued and stuff, but we got into that topic. I'll say. But yeah, because you would think like being big Deadpool fans that yeah, you know, we would be like more behind him and all that, and no. But like I bought both of those books before I heard about all that crap, you know, like I bought it like Major X, like seeing what it's all about, you know, like kind of thing, you know, and then I started hearing about all that, and I was just like, oh Jesus, here we go.
Indeed. Anyways,
yeah, let's move on to some more positive subjects. What about the movies you guys picked up? I think you guys have a little bit of a
yes. The car was at the shop. I had to go to the dentist, and then we still had a half an hour to kill, and we noticed an FYE across the pond, like across the street. So I've been looking for this movie, and at the last FYE we went to, I couldn't find it anywhere. I'm like, is it science fiction? Is it horror? Is it comedy? Like, I couldn't find it anywhere. Come to find out, the reason is because it was in the children's section. I'm like, oh, okay, there it is. They had it. I got it for $3, and it's Mirror Mask.
Sweet.
It's Neil Gaiman. It's really a mind messes with your mind type of film. If, like, of course, you know, Neil Gaiman's the type like that to always have the mind games, but yeah, I was really stoked to get Mirror Mask at FYE for I got it for $3. I love FYE.
Dude, I haven't been to an FYE in forever. Like, I remember specifically going to FYEs in malls in New Jersey in my childhood or maybe teenage youth, if you will. But I can't remember the last time I've seen an FYE in person.
I was just gonna say, ask if anybody knows if they even exist still.
I guess
we only have two. Yeah, we have two.
Yeah, we have two here. One of them is one of the super store ones though. That's
the biggest ones
massive,
in the area, and then the other one that we went to was a much smaller one.
Well, and then didn't she say something that there's a third one somewhere?
Yeah.
She said there's a small, medium, and large one, but I can't remember.
And
what she said.
And they were the medium one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't remember what she said where the other one was.
I don't remember either.
About those
but I got a cool Venom coffee cup at FYE too when we got this. Nice. I got a Venom coffee cup and a Destiny 2 coffee cup.
Oh, and the Deadpool blanket too that we forgot to show McD too that time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I can't reach it with my earbuds in.
A blankie.
Yeah, we're overgrown children.
Blankie.
Yeah, we all are.
Yeah, and then the next day we found this awesome Batman one at the grocery store.
Yeah, at Smith's we find a Batman blanket, so it's
$7.
It's coming home with us.
The way you guys synced up your voices there, it was almost sounded like it was planned. It was amazing.
Right.
That's what 6 years of marriage will do to you.
This is too big to probably even show on here, but
it says "out of the way, nerd."
Sweet.
Perfect.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's what 6 years of being together will do to you. You start matching clothes. There'll be some days where I get up, get dressed, go to work. I come home, he's dressed, and we're both wearing Batman. Don't know how it happens. It happens. We end up wearing the same thing. It's kind of like my sister and brother-in-law. They end up wearing the same color shirt without doing it on purpose. And it's we get crap for it from time to time. It's oh, you guys are matching your outfits on deliberately. You're doing it on purpose. It's no, I had no idea he was going to wear that. I wasn't even there when he got dressed. I went to work, came home. He was passed out when I left for work.
Or we'll both be wearing red shirts and black pants or something. It's crazy.
Yeah. It happens.
Right, but so it's fitting that NYC brought up the DC Universe animated movies because we had maybe one or two of them, and we.
I love the art on those animated movies.
It's so good.
I liked. There's one that I know. Every time I bring it up, everybody's like, "Oh, I hate it." But that was it Ninja Batman or Batman Ninja or something like that. I really liked that one.
Batman Ninja. That's on my list.
A lot of people say they don't like it though, but
I liked it for the first 35-40 minutes, and then I realized what it was becoming. It was like a computer animated Power Rangers Ninja Batman Mech Zord. I was like, "Whoa, this is too much." My mind just exploded. I'm out of here.
I haven't seen it, but I might watch it tonight before I go to bed. If I'm honest, it's on my queue list or whatever on the DC Universe app. I feel like the animated stuff alone is worth the price of admission on that DC Universe app. You get the entire back run of the Batman the animated TV series. You get all these DC animated movies. You know, plus you get the new like Teen Titans and Doom Patrol like live action stuff also. But just the animated stuff alone is, I think, worth the price of that subscription. So
yeah.
Speaking of DC movies, man, because DC movies had Shazam come out, I recommend people check out Big.
Hell yeah, dude! Big.
This is basically what I hear the movie is kind of mirroring almost.
It has a lot of big vibes to it. It's not like a copy off the movie, but it's a similar
iconic scene right there.
Similar concept if you think about it. Except for that he can switch back and forth as opposed to Big. It's kind of like not the exact same, and it's not a superhero. But
just the vibe or the feel.
The vibe,
yeah. They're still in the same kind of ballpark.
NYC, man, since you're going to the Star Wars thing next week.
Yeah.
I got this one right here. This throwback right here. You see that?
The Ewok movie? Yes.
Yeah, man. Caravan of Courage and Battle for Endor. A lot of people clown on this thing, but as a kid, I loved it.
I loved it too, man.
This may be an unpopular opinion, but when he got me into Star Wars, since I was always more of a Trekkie, I didn't think Jar Jar was too bad.
I don't either.
Yeah, I say it.
I don't even think I've heard of this one.
Jar Jar sucked, but he wasn't as bad as what people make him out to be.
So there's you know they made Ewok comic books, and I think I have a few of the issues, and I even have one of them slab somewhere around here on a box. I've never shown it on Instagram or on my YouTube channel, but maybe I'll dig some of the Ewok books out.
We're talking Ewoks, man. I got this in one of my BAM boxes. This is an actual sketch that they had for the TV show.
That's pretty sweet.
That's sweet.
That is awesome.
So, yeah, I got that, and it has its certificate. Anyone not familiar with Bambox, JoJo did a massive unboxing like a month ago, I think, with like 48 boxes. But I have one more movie to show you guys for a throwback. I'm sure, you know, some of the older people like this. Breaking 2 Electric Boogaloo.
Yes.
This is hands down one of the greatest things that came out of the 80s.
Yep.
I don't know what else to say about it. You got to save miracles by nothing else but breakdancing. That's how you get money to save your community home center. You got Turbo and Ozone, a.k.a. Boogaloo Shrimp, and what's his name? Shabadoo.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that one.
Me neither.
The first one is better, man, but I mean, this is some great cheese right here.
I'm gonna have we'll have to check into that because he's shown me some good movies over the years. I'm like, how have I not seen these?
I was like, I don't know how old I was when I like 9, popping and locking, just breaking it down.
Did you hear that? Did you hear that Leonardo DiCaprio's company is making the Akira movie, and that they got some sort of grant from the city of LA, like to
$18 million tax grant.
Yeah, exactly.
But the main thing is, you said the Leonardo DiCaprio. That's been going on for like 20 years. He's been trying to get this thing made.
Crazy,
Thank God.
And like, I know that you recently got the first print of the graphic novel, and I did also.
As did you.
And I never expected that book to like actually get.
I just got it for me because that's like one of the pinnacles of anime. That and Ninja Scroll were like the top 2 things when I was a kid.
Let me ask you this: the first time you ever saw the original anime, was it dubbed or subbed?
I think it was dubbed.
I think it was dubbed for me too the first time.
Mine too, but I know that there were some people that had. They went back and they made custom subbed ones where they were still spoken in the original language, and then they'd add like you'd see the subs on the bottom look like a piece of paper that they had like basically taped up to each like photo strip. Is crazy. But I love that motorcycle,
man. When they took off on those motorcycles and you see the way the trails of light went, I was like, this is awesome.
Sick, right? The NM4.
I'm trying to like conceptualize in my head how you bring that to life, you know, in like real live action. It's
I guess like Alita Battle Angel, man.
I haven't seen that yet, but I want to.
Yeah, we want to see that too.
Me either, man. My buddy is the trainer for John Landau down here, him and his wife.
Oh, wow.
Keys telling me all about stuff when they were making it and how he was training some of the actors that came down, some of the younger ones. I mean, I don't know too much about it because I didn't want him to spoil it for me, but he had a lot of cool stuff to say.
Right.
Yeah, because your brother-in-law said it was pretty good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, my brother-in-law is a huge nerd too. He's a good guy. Did you drop something?
Yeah.
It sounded like you dropped like everything you had in your hands.
Do we have a date for that Akira movie by chance? Like,
I don't think there's,
man.
a date. Yeah, I think it's just about to start, like going into production type of thing. But I'm not sure what. I don't even know who's starring in it.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So Jeffrey, you saw the other kind of copies right now with from Jordan Peele, the follow-up to Get Out, which I personally was a big fan of Get Out. I'm not a huge horror guy, but what the movie's called, what, Us?
Yes.
Us? Yeah.
Yes. And now I have a problem with it being considered a horror movie because I mean, I'm sure in a sense it was, but it wasn't like a scary movie. There was one part that might have been a little creepy, and I would say is more of a suspenseful type of movie. I liken it to if you took The Matrix and tried to make The Matrix into a horror movie, is kind of what I felt like I was watching. It starts off in 1986 with this little girl at the Santa Cruz Beach boardwalk, and she's like in a house of mirrors, right? And she gets lost, and she ends up. Spoilers! If nobody's seen this, I'm giving full spoilers, just to let you know. It was in a house of mirrors, right? And she runs in. She's like gets all scared and freaks out, and she starts trying to find her way out. And she ends up backing up into another person, and so she turns around, and the person she backs up into is herself. And then it just cuts, boom, and then it takes them. They're in a doctor's office. It's her parents. And her parents are talking to the doctor, and she's sitting in another room, and the doctor's telling her that she has PTSD. And they're like, how can she have PTSD? She was only gone for like 5 minutes or whatever. Well, right at that point, you know exactly what happened. Or at least I did from watching the movie. You know, they got switched, right? Like, boom. And so then from there, it cuts to about 20 years, basically present day. And she's married. She's married to, I believe, the actor's name is Winston Duke, who actually was a professional WWE wrestler for a little while. And they've got 2 kids, and they're going on vacation to Santa Cruz. They end up going to the beach, and as soon as they get back to the beach, all this weird stuff starts happening. People kind of start dying. She starts having like flashbacks, and it's just kind of a weird vibe right there. And then she really starts to freak out because a frisbee lands next to her feet, and then she's just all stunned by it, right? So they go home, and then all of a sudden, one of her sons comes up and is like, "Oh, there's some people standing in front of the house," and they tell the kid, you know, he's seeing things and all this stuff, and he's like, "No, for real, there's a family standing in front of our house." So they go out and they see this, like in the shadows, there's a family standing in front of their house, and that is probably the creepiest part of the movie, is that part right there. And then the family comes in, and they start like basically terrorizing them. And once they get the family confined to one room, they explain what's going on. They call themselves the Tethered, which is a group. It's basically your shadow, and it's alive. But our shadows live in the basement of the Santa Cruz Beach boardwalk, and they have decided to uproot and come and take over, is what happened. And
well, here's Santa Monica.
I was thinking of the Shadow People Doctor Who episode.
Right?
I mean, interesting.
Yeah, but everybody has a shadow, right? And they all start coming out, and they're trying to kill the real version so the shadow versions can live and all this stuff. And they're mad because they were kept down below the Santa Cruz Beach boardwalk. And
I'd be pissed too.
Yeah, it's basically your shadows coming to life and trying to come and take over. But at the, you know, after they're fighting, you know, there's a family friends. They try to go to like escape and get some help from the family friends. They show up, the family friends are dead already from their shadows, and then they have to kill their shadows. And then they end up finding a car, and then the main star of the movie is Lupita Nyong'o, and she runs into her shadow self, and they have this like gigantic battle, and the real life one ends up killing the shadow one. But after that happens, you find out that the real life one was actually the shadow one that switched place with him as a kid. Which, if you watch and you pay attention to the first 10 minutes of the movie, you knew that it was there. And I don't know, it was total. The movie tried to be one of those, I don't know the proper word. I'm gonna just say it tried to be like a mind fuck type of movie where it just kind of like makes you think, wants to screw with your head, but it
like
really
Secret
was.
Window.
Yeah, it was kind of like Secret Window, almost like I likened it to the Matrix kind of a thing where nothing really makes any sense. And I don't know if they did that on purpose or what, but when you watch the first 10 minutes of the movie, you get everything that you need to know, basically, and you pretty much can see exactly what's going to happen. Like, honestly, I felt like the best part of the movie was the fact that the main theme song was I Got Five on it. Like, for real.
Oh, Loonies? I love that song.
Yeah, and then in the battle scene between Lupita Nyong'o's two selves, they do a remastered. I don't know. It's a weird like orchestrated version of I Got Five on it, and it's slowed down, and it's really awesome. But I mean, other than that, it was just. I guess it was just okay, and it wasn't much of a horror flick. It was maybe a little suspenseful. I never saw Get Out, so I can't compare it to that.
Yeah, so I mean, some of what you say makes it sound like, like Get Out could be, like you might prefer Get Out. Like hearing that from you, like it sounds like it has similarities.
Yeah, Get Out's a suspense thriller. It's not really horror.
I haven't seen Us, and I have seen Get Out, so I'm on the opposite of what you're experiencing. So I do want to see Us. I'll probably still get around to seeing it. Hopefully, I'll forget some of what you just said when I do see it. But no worries. It wasn't a movie that I was gonna go like get tickets for in advance and be all like hyper crazy.
This is something that we see time and time again in Hollywood: is that a guy makes a hit movie and they give him a bunch of money to make a follow up, and it doesn't live up to the hype.
Yeah, that's happened countless times.
I mean, from a box office perspective, though, it's more than lived up to the hype, and it has surpassed expectations, and it was made a lot of money. And I think from a critical standpoint, I think more critics are liking it. So I don't know about that. I don't know if that's an accurate.
See, that's the weird thing with movies and books and stuff. You have to spend your money to make the numbers go up, and you don't know if it sucks or not until you spend your money and makes it,
Yeah, I don't know the details as to like how much it costs to make the movie and how much they spend on marketing, any of that stuff.
Well, it's kind of like when they turned a series of unfortunate events into a movie. I read those books. I loved those books. I was like halfway through the last book. Yeah, I was halfway through the last book. The movie comes out. I go and see it. I was so mad I never even finished the last book. Because the movie just like ruined it.
Wasn't that a Netflix show too? I couldn't stand it.
Patrick Harris.
It wasn't what the books were. It's like they couldn't quite get it, and I'm like, the books were so much better.
One of the biggest critiques I have is I felt like the actors, there wasn't even a good acting job. Like Lupita Nyong'o didn't do bad. Winston Duke was all right, but there was nothing in there as far as the performance of any of the actors that you were like, oh man, that was good. When I first started watching it, I was almost like, I could do better acting than some of this stuff, because like it just didn't feel good. The movie like itself, the acting performance and the movie, I don't know. For me, it just seemed very underwhelming. Like, I'm not saying it was a bad movie by far. Like, it was definitely not horrible. But I was kind of expecting more from it, I guess.
So there's some chatter about Twin Peaks in the chat. It's something that I never really tried.
Yeah, John, I can't explain Twin Peaks either unless you're talking about.
I enjoyed it, but man, I was lost.
Yeah, I've heard that it's confusing for sure. But
I loved the first season, and I didn't even watch that when it first came out. I watched it later on in life. But
you mean like the old school?
Yeah, with the cherry pie and the whole nine. What's the director's name? David Finch?
I think so.
Isn't that a comic book artist?
David Fincher.
Fincher. There you go.
Yeah, yeah.
It's close. Jack Nicholson. Jack Nicholas. Yeah.
I do that all the time, man.
They should team up on a. They should team up on a project or something.
Yeah, or make a drink or something, right?
Yeah, Jaccio, Twin Peaks is really good, man. David Lynch, that's what
David
it is.
Lynch.
John knows.
So who's the Fincher director? There's somebody named Fincher who's a director.
Is there like a William Fincher? Or no, not.
Did I make that up in my head? Or...
No, I think there is one.
There is.
I just can't remember the first name.
Finch. I don't know.
I don't know, Mr. Go. You probably haven't watched them because you probably have a wife.
Or no, that's David Lynch. Hell, I don't know. Now I'm getting all confused.
Yeah.
I swear I think there's one.
Oh, you probably know him because he does music videos. David Fincher.
John says
Seven.
He's also known for
Fight
Seven, Gone Girl,
movie
Zodiac.
in the comic community.
That's what I know him from is Fight Club.
Fight Club.
Yeah, Jaccio just said in chat.
The first rule about Fight Club is you don't talk about.
And Jackio's a big cinephile. I've noticed, big movie guy too.
Like,
so.
I'm sure he did do Seven, but that's probably not why I would have remembered his name.
Right.
It's definitely Fight Club. That's why I remember his name.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's why I know it for sure.
I remember that movie. I love that movie.
I love that movie too. I mean,
I was lost in that one first time I saw it.
First time, yeah.
First time.
But after you see it,
a lot of people don't realize that in the movie where he does that clip where he's working in the movie theater, they legitimately did that at the end of the movie. There's a quick clip that a lot of people don't catch. Like, they literally did what they showed they did in the movie to the movie. Like a wall break, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I got a movie here for Jeffrey because I know he likes this guy right here.
Yeah.
Above the rim. This is the best basketball movies around, and was the street ball game before street ball was street ball.
Yeah.
I loved Above the Rim too.
High school basketball, trying to get out the ghetto and go to college, dope dealing, murdering.
I mean, it's crazy how prolific Tupac was as an actor as he was doing all the rap stuff and music stuff. Like, just the volume of high quality acting roles that he had in such a short.
Like, what was the Poetic Justice? Wasn't that?
Yeah, Poetic Justice.
With Janet Jackson.
Was he in Belly? Was he in Belly?
No, that was Nas and.
That was Nas. That was Nas.
I was gonna bust that out next week.
But yeah, dude, Tupac was killed as an actor.
He did.
Well, you know, a lot of people don't know is when he was in Baltimore, that's where he grew up, was like in Baltimore, and he did a lot of like acting school and performing arts in high school and things like that. So he wasn't always just like a thug.
I know. I would have loved to see what he would have done with that.
Well, I remember him coming in on A Different World, making guest spots every now and then. I loved A Different World.
90 Mile from Comics is in the house. What's up, bro?
Chad, what up?
Chad. Yeah. Above the Rim is right up there. I think.
Oh, Fresh. Comic Fresh. That is hands down like a killer movie, man.
Have you guys seen Cool Hand Luke?
No.
Oh, that's going back. That's old. Paul Newman.
That's old Paul Newman. Yeah, the famous line, "What we have here is a failure to communicate," comes from that movie with Paul Newman.
I've seen Cool Runnings.
Cool Hand Luke is a really good movie.
Cool Runnings is good.
Feel the rhythm, feel the ride.
With him and Jackie.
Come on, everybody, it's bobsled time.
Yes. You dead man.
You dead man. Sanka. You dead man.
Yeah, John said great movie, Fuchsia, great pull. It is. That's
like was he kisses the egg before like every race?
Yeah, and he puts it in his pants and he pulls it out to make sure it's not broken every time. Yes.
Yeah, and John Candy, right? John Candy.
Yeah, he
God, I love John Candy when I was a kid.
Too soon, John Candy.
Absolutely.
All right,
Planes, Trains, Automobiles, man. That was a good one. Uncle Buck.
Uncle Buck.
Home Alone, man.
Classic.
Yeah.
Yes.
He wasn't Home Alone. He helped the mom with the I'm Polka's, what's his name, from Polka King in the East.
We sold like 500 records. Yes.
Good stuff. So, anything else you guys have on your mind this week? I think we got about 5 minutes left. 5-10 minutes left, then we got to wrap up.
Well, yeah. There's one quick thing I want to mention. Like literally right before I came in here and jumped on Hangouts with you guys, I saw on the news. I don't know how soon it dropped or whatever, but who was it? I think it was one of the Russo brothers. The article I read at least said I think it was the Russo brothers confirmed that Endgame is Stan Lee's final.
Is cameo. It? Wow.
Yeah. God, it's gonna be so heartbreaking to see.
Yeah. So Endgame should be the last for that too. So I know, yeah. That because I guess there was kind of rumors that he might be in Far From Home, but
I was gonna say that kind of makes me sad that he's not gonna be in a Spider-Man movie. Like that'll be the first Spider-Man movie that he won't be in.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm reading it right here.
Yeah.
Oh, you're seeing it? Okay, so yeah.
Their exact quotes are, I believe that his final cameo is in Endgame. I don't remember if he was well enough to do Homecoming, Far From Home in quotations because they apparently mispronounced it cameo or not.
Maybe they'll cut him into it somehow. You know?
Yeah.
Right. I don't know.
Yeah, there's still like somewhat of a possibility, you know. So.
I'm sure they're struggling with the thing. Should we just like face cap them or mocap them and just do it forever?
Right. Yeah, well, I bet they've got enough footage of him from another movie or something they probably haven't used. Maybe they could throw in there somehow. Maybe, right?
To try and be spoiler free, his cameo in Captain Marvel, they had to do a voiceover from one of his older movies where the line, his voice wasn't the same, so they had to get old footage and play it into the new footage. And,
I remember Kevin Smith did something like that, right? He said that called him up and asked him. That's how we got spoiled on how he was in the cameo.
Exactly. Yeah. And he was perfectly okay with that spoil because he's like, I understand, and yeah.
Could you imagine Kevin Smith at that moment? Like me and her are big Kevin Smith fans, and like, I mean, we all know how big of a fan of this stuff that Kevin Smith is. And could you imagine that call? You know, like.
Dude, I cried just hearing him talk about the getting the call. I can't even imagine.
I know, man. It's just,
dude, I cried when all that stuff where like Stan's daughter or something was taking advantage of him, and he's like,
"No, my heart was
live with me." I'm like, "I love you, Kevin. I want to just give you a big old hug."
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Yeah, my heart was breaking when all of that was going on, and now it's just I'm so glad he's with his wife again now because he's happy now. He's in no more pain, and that's the way I see it. But it's still like even when we finally saw Venom and we saw his cameo, I'm like, oh.
His legacy will live on forever.
So speaking of Kevin Smith and Stan Lee, back to the beginning when I was saying I was binging Comic Book Man on Amazon, there's probably at least 3 different episodes where Stan Lee shows up and he's like spending the day at the comic shop with those guys. And he's like shooting the shit and telling them like behind the scenes stories about like how he came up with his character, like what he thinks of, like how he thinks Dr. Doom isn't a villain and stuff like that.
My favorite story that he would always tell was the no relation with Lee.
Oh, with Jim Lee, with Jim Lee, and he'd be like Stan Lee, Jim Lee, no relation. Like he would do that to him all the time.
That was always great.
Those episodes are great. If you ever really want to feel comforted, go track down the Stan Lee episodes of Comic Book Men. Like they're
yeah, for real. Like we said, how we started watching it recently too on Amazon. The first one that Stan Lee comes in, he's like sitting up on the desk, and they're all sitting on the ground like kids, like just like looking up at him, like teach me, old man, you know.
Like a story time.
Yeah, speaking of the Kevin Smith video, when he was watching the trailer for Spider-Man Far From Home, somebody calls him in the background and he just hurries and hangs it up like, I'm busy. And when we saw that other one where he was doing the call, we were like, can you imagine if that was the call he missed? Like, he's just in the middle of something.
It's like Kevin Feige calling him to like direct the next MCU movie. And he's like, shut up, I'm watching the trailer. Like, just hangs it up.
It was just like, oh.
Yeah. Hopefully they call his agent for that.
Right? Yeah. That was great. I love watching his reaction videos to some of the trailers. He's one of my favorites.
He's the best. Yeah. I mean, he's one of those guys that like you could see he's like truly like impacted by every single thing that happens.
He really is, and really I think he's underrated as a writer too. Like,
I think
if
he's
you've
underrated.
Ever read, like Guardian Devil, like his Guardian Devil run was like.
I like his Daredevil run for sure.
His Green Arrow run was really good too. I loved it.
I've not read his Green Arrow run. I haven't read much Green Arrow, but I would like to.
Did you guys ever see Death of Superman Lives?
Oh, of course. Yep. John Steps, man. I love him.
Oh yeah, John Steps. Yeah.
He was actually the first person I met at my first con I ever went to. He was like right there when I walked in. He was selling the Superman Death of Superman Lives. But what I was getting at is, you're talking about Kevin Smith being a writer. He talks and kind of spits what his story would have been for the movie, and it just sounded amazing. Like, he just loves this universe, and you can tell, like, this is the person you need. This is the Kevin Feige of the DC universe, and you just don't know it yet. Like, just
exactly
give him the reins and let it happen. Not saying he has to direct all the movies, but he knows how to kind of know where these stories to start with.
He's even done a few episodes of Flash.
Yeah, he's been directing a lot of the Arrowverse stuff. Yeah. It's funny because I've seen him do interviews. And Supergirl.
And Supergirl.
Yeah.
Yeah, and because like I've seen him do interviews where he's like, where he was asked if he would want to direct like an MCU movie or something. He's like, no, I'll keep it to the people who are killing it. You know, I'm fine over here doing this. But
I think he says that sort of as like a deflective kind of joke.
Yeah.
You know what
I mean? As like a humbleness with it.
He would.
As like the humbleness with it.
Yeah, because he's such a humble dude. But like, if he was really asked, I don't think he would turn it down.
I don't think he would turn it down. Like, if he actually got asked, I don't think he would turn it down.
Yeah.
Or maybe I was in his shoes and like executive associate to the man in charge, and like they do with like baseball teams and stuff. You got like Peyton Manning, who just retired, and the next thing you know, he's the executive assistant to the coach or whatever, and he's telling them all the stuff.
He's the president of baseball operations for.
I know we don't like our sports metaphors here in the comic world, but you know what I mean. Like,
no, I don't know.
Beyond him, he'll be off the corner, but I feel like that's part of the thing with DC. Like, you have all these great stories and characters, and you just forced out all this crap in the beginning, and you didn't even ask the fans. Like, we have information superhighway at your fingertips. You can ask anyone if it's cool. We all would have told you no. Except for Aquaman,
that reminds me of something.
It was really good.
What are you guys' thoughts on that new Joker trailer? Because I am not impressed. I do not look from the trailer. I'm totally just like turned away from it.
I thought it was fantastic.
Like, I'm kind of like, it wasn't bad, but it wasn't incredible.
It did kind of lower my hype a little bit, but just because that trailer kind of had a different tone than what I was like kind of expecting. You know what I mean? It just looked different.
For me, that was the tone I was hoping for. Like, I didn't want to see it turn into like an action movie. You know what I'm saying? Because that's not really what I think the point of doing it was. For me, it hit all the right notes. It felt like it was a Scorsese movie about Joker, and that's what I want to see. I don't want to see.
That's true. Yeah.
I don't want to see.
I'm watching it, man. I'm giving it its due diligence. I'm gonna watch it, but like my first initial response was just, I don't know.
Yeah.
Same. I'll still watch it. There's still a chance for it, because sometimes you see trailers and you watch the movie, and the only thing that was good were the trailers. Or sometimes you see bad trailers and you see the movie and you're like, the trailers did not do this movie justice, so you know.
I do want to see something from the like a style of the Joker that we haven't seen before, and like and to NYC's point, like
that looks like
that's what it is, you know. Yeah. So I'm still looking forward to it. I still want to see it for sure.
I mean, I feel like the reactions to the negative are people expecting it to be a Batman movie, and
right,
like
what's
the point of that? Like, it's not a Batman.
Was there kind of like a big negative reaction to it? I haven't really kind of seen.
I don't know. I felt like I was the first person who didn't like it, but
it's mostly positive from the people I hear.
Same.
Yeah. It was positive from my sister-in-law who shared it.
Yeah.
I mean, I know I'm in the minority. I'm just. You know,
at the same time, I think they're still like working on finishing the movie, because it comes out in like October or something, and it's only April. You know what I mean? So I think it's probably they worked with a limited amount of the completed footage, and they're not seeing you're not seeing a huge chunk of what the movie is.
I'm sure there's still a lot of posts to do and stuff,
I personally think it can still be good, and I'm just interested to see where they're going to go with it. It's a possibility. I don't know. You don't know until you see it. You know,
I mean, yeah. The point isn't it to be a Batman movie at all. Then they would have made a Batman movie first. The point is to do a Joker origin story, and that's what they're doing.
Well, it seems like they're going with the name Arthur.
Yeah, it was like Arthur Fleck. I think I've seen it before. It's
Fleck.
like,
yeah.
In the comics, he's always Joker, but
to me, I get the same feeling as like Miss Marvel, meaning like I want to give it a chance. I'm gonna give it a chance, but it's like it's not gonna break my heart if I don't get to see it. Now that could change in the next trailer. The next trailer might come out, and I might just be like, I can't wait to go see the Joker. You know?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that first
trailer, it's too soon to tell.
It didn't get me hyped up. That's for sure. So.
But I'm with you, NYC, as far as the vibe is Scorsese. Like, I get it. I dig films. I'm not just like some action, type of movie. I watch them all in any type of genre, So
I want to see a psychopathic killing spree, but
especially when he's coming down those steps, like I was like screaming Scorsese, because Scorsese's always got some kind of steps or something like.
Right. Well, it's a very metaphorical trailer. Like if you look at the first half of the trailer and the second half of the trailer, at first you see a guy that's very pushed down by society, and then you see him transition into a guy that basically laughs about it, right? And that line about, at first I thought my life was a tragedy, but then I realized it's a comedy. That's Joker. That's like his
it is.
So
that
line alone blew me away, and then the acting looked so good from what's his name? I always forget his name.
Joaquin Phoenix.
So
Phoenix is.
I was pretty hyped personally after seeing it, and I watched it like 4 or 5 times. But
what was that you said, Jeffrey, about it? One other movie you said?
The one?
I don't know. I thought I heard something. I could have misheard him. Never mind. I hear voices. Don't mind.
It's okay. I have been hearing people say that there is supposed to be like a young Bruce Wayne in the movie. So
I hope not. For me, that's the crap that killed the Gotham TV show.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the Gotham TV show personally, but
I thought it was just going to be a cop show with Gordon and Harvey, and they're just going around and be like NCIS or whatever. You know what I mean?
The Gotham TV show is like an Elseworlds comic. You know what I mean? It's a what if Elseworlds kind of scenario for a TV show. And so,
I forget who said it. It might have even been you saying that it got crappy ratings after the first year, and then they just started forcing all these Batman characters or villains that weren't even supposed to be in the story yet.
Right. I've only seen the first season.
Okay, then it wasn't you.
So,
but,
I haven't seen any of it.
First season was dope, and then went to crap, and I gave up on it.
Yeah.
Oh, I know what you probably thought. We're thinking of Fuchsia. As I said, I want to see like a psychopathic killing spree. That's what I want.
Exactly. That's what it was.
Yeah.
That's what it was. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Because that reminded me of the movie Identity.
Yeah, some shit like that.
Like a psychopathic. Yeah, like a psycho.
God, for
years they said the Harley Quinn and Joker movie was going to be like that, but then it never came out because they need to market it to kids.
Right.
I thought that would have been.
I think they're starting to learn
This Joker movie is supposed to be rated R, and based on that trailer, I could see there being a psychopathic killing spree, like where he loses his mind and he fully transitions into the Joker character. Like they can't show that in a trailer.
Right. I guess is that what this whole movie is about? Is like the becoming of Joker kind of a thing, or what?
Yeah. And I think that's one thing, like Kevin Smith even says, like we're living in history where I think they're starting to see that more adults are going to these superhero movies than there are children. So they're starting to see that they can do it a mature
because you are finally seeing some rated R ones. Like
Deadpool, you made a good point. The falling down Joker, that's the Michael Douglas when he has the short white hair and he ends up taking the gun and flips out on McDonald's worker because it doesn't
oh my god.
But he just goes postal. Great. It's like basically where the word postal came from. He just flips the script and goes around LA on like a shooting spree.
Well, and speaking of rated R movies, but I was going to mention too that the new Hellboy movie is supposed to be rated R. What are you guys looking forward to that one, or?
I'm not saying I don't like Hellboy, but
I'll see it. I mean, like, I'll see it eventually, but I
don't like this right here on his head, like how the makeup is going on. Like I don't know what's going on right here, but it doesn't look like the Hellboy I know and love.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like how they're
the old school where it's like
how they made his forehead or his eyes or like just what I don't know even what to call it. Next time you watch the trailer, check it out. You'll see them. But there are some light notes, there are some light notes and funniness. I like it. We'll give it a shot.
Yeah, that's kind of our thing. Like I don't know, I really want to see it, but I don't know if it's like theater. Maybe we'll see it once it's out of the theater. Like I don't know.
Probably out of theater.
But yeah.
Like out of theater. But no, the one other thing that popped in my head from the psychopathic thriller was the movie that was on TV the other day that I love, Identity.
Yeah, I like that movie.
That's a good
Identity
movie.
was good.
If you haven't seen it, you should see it.
Yeah, I like that.
I mean, yeah, but I don't know. Hellboy we probably won't go to the theater for, but I'd still see it.
What? Did somebody just say Sandlot?
I love Sandlot. That was filmed here.
Yeah,
a portion of Sandlot on the stream tonight.
Yeah, that Sandlot movie was filmed in Utah. I'm proud of that.
Dude, the funny thing is about this, and everyone knows him, the great Hambino, Ham. I used to compete in karate tournaments, and we would go to Jacksonville, and we all went out for like a dinner. Well, Ham and the kid that played Sean on Boy Meets World and a bunch of other people were there. So we all got to meet him as kids. It was so cool. We were at a TGI Fridays and got to meet him.
Nice. That is so awesome. See, I love that classic line. You're killing me, Smalls.
You're killing me, Smalls is the best line ever.
Some more? You want some more? How can I have some more if I haven't had any yet?
Yeah.
You're killing me.
So we're at an hour, guys. So
we gotta run
through the night, but it was an awesome show. I was glad to have everybody else here. Next week I'll be traveling next week, so I may or may not make the show, but everybody else will be here. I'll be in Chicago for the Star Wars Con. Right after this ends, I'm gonna try to hop on with JP Budget Collecting. We're both gonna be at the Star Wars Celebration. So we're going to talk about that maybe a little bit, but hopefully everybody comes back. Thanks for joining us. Anything else we need to say before we wrap up?
Thank you, everybody, for joining us.
Guys.
Really appreciate all you guys in the chat. You guys make this such an awesome show.
Yeah,
thank you so much for tuning in and showing your support, and live long and prosper.
Have a great night.
Bye, everybody. Keep it real.
Later, guys.